tick-tock, tick-tock. He was young, too young to see what he saw. Right in front of his eyes, his father closed his eyes. It was much of a day. And everyone who for a second thought time is your life. I was only 5 years old. In front of the TV, in my living room, I was weeping, I was crying. When my mother came running and switched off the TV. For the next 5 years in my life, I couldn't find the strength to watch the rest of The Lion King. Why did the death scene of King Mufasa still haunt us? Because King Mufasa wasn't just a lovey-dovey dad to the little Simba, but also to the little Simba inside all of us. He showed us that the time you invest in your loved ones can lead to an everlasting relationship. Similarly, my grandpa was a King Mufasa in his own right. He was my father's best friend. They would play together, they would eat together, they would learn together, and most of all, they were always there for each other. And that is why, to the day, my father dedicates all his life's success to my grandpa. One day, my father passed his scholarship exam with flying colors. He came home running to tell his dad how well he did. But time is cruel. While my dad basked in glory, Grandpa suffered a cardiac arrest. For the next 7 days, my dad stayed by his dad's side. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep. One night, Grandpa woke up and murmured, "Son, water, water." My dad ran, brought a cup of water. By that time, Grandpa had already left the house. And the early demise of my grandpa created a void in my father's life. He grew closer to his uncle, Mr. Fernando. Now, Mr. Fernando is a winsome personality. He's a neat old man. He would comb his perfectly grey hair to the side. He would tuck in his perfectly ironed white shirt into his white trousers. And he would walk with a stick. But that walk was a proud walk. He was very close to my dad. So much so that they would call each other dad and son. They would sit for hours and talk about life, politics, and cricket. Mr. Fernando had 2 children. One was a daughter, and the other one, the youngest, was a son. They all settled overseas after their higher studies. One day, Mr. Fernando ran into my father's office. His hair was messy, his shirt wasn't ironed, nor it was tucked. My dad stood up. He was shocked. Yes, Dad, what's wrong? Mr. Fernando, he looked disappointed. He looked sad. He looked all gone. He said, "Son, I'm leaving to an elder's house." My dad was shocked, but he couldn't do anything. He held on to his dad's hand and said, "Dad, I'll visit you." And he left 1,000 notes. That's all he had. Mr. Fernando said, "Son, I'm not here for the money. I'm here for you." And out he went. After a hectic time at work, we visited him. It was a beautiful house in Kurunagaga. In this serene house, in the middle of the house, there was a mango tree, huge mango tree that bore a lot of fruits. sheltering the wooden bench underneath. They sat there and spoke hours till the sun set beneath the mango tree into the horizon, deep into the horizon. As we got up to leave, Mr. Fernando held onto my dad's hands and said, "Son, I brought my children the best bats, but I was never there to throw the ball. I got them the best food, I got them the tastiest food, but I was never there to feed them. I was there, I spent for their higher studies, I sent them to the best universities, but I was never there for the graduation." And that day, we came back home. And after a while, we visited him again, after about a month. And that place, that house, was still serene. It was still beautiful. That mango tree still bore fruits. And it all still sheltered the wooden bench. But that wooden bench was empty. On that mango tree, there was a white flag. Once a proud king had silently passed away. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Ladies and gentlemen, death is not the end, but the time is. Think about it. The quality time Grandpa spent with my father led to an everlasting relationship, while Mr. Fernando's busy life isolated him. Children or your loved ones wouldn't understand the excuses, but they only understand who shows up. Think about it. How many people are still alive to you, although they're dead for years? And how many of them are already dead to you but still alive? Think about it. You might be dead to somebody too. Take time off work, spend quality time with your people, and enjoy life. Be good. Voting.